research talk, we have amongst us Carmen Musat-Coman and Dr. Srabanti Basu. Carmen Coman is a writer, journalist, and editor in Bucharest. She is a postgraduate in Romanian and French from the University of Bucharest. She did optional courses in Bengali, Sanskrit, and Indian civilization from the same university, which she learned directly from Amita Bhose. She is one of the key persons who carry on the practice of Bengali language, literature, and culture in Romania. She gave a Romanian language course, possibly the first one, to Bengali students in 2023 online mode organized by Indian Association for Asian and Pacific Studies. Carmen has 13 books including the translated works in her credit. In 2005, she was awarded by the United Nations for her literary work. She also received the Indian Embassy Distinction Award for promoting Indian culture in Romania. Dr. Srabanti Basu is a professor of biotechnology in the Heritage Institute of Technology based in Kolkata. She did her MSc and PhD from the University of Calcutta. She received several awards including Fulbright Nehru Scholarship for her academic pursuits. Apart from that, she is a poetry performer and has a deep interest in literature and culture studies. She loves communicating parallel poems from different countries. She is practicing under Rototi Bandhopadhyay for a long time and has directed several poetry-based productions. I now request our director, Dr. Shati Guho, to formally greet our guests.
আমি তো হাসছি ওই কারণে আপনি বুঝছেন না আমি হাসছি সোনার হরিণ কমে চলে গেছে করতে হবে আগে বলে 30 কপি এসেছে 30 কপির মধ্যে তো একটা
I now request our speaker for the further lecture. Thank you.
Namaskar. Amar now Carmen, and I'm very glad and honored to be here, and I want to thank you very much. And I want to apologize for my future mistake in English, but I assure you that in Romanian I speak very well, but you don't know. So we are in Institute of Language, so that's why I apologize for my English pronunciation. I want to thank you to the Dean and also to Ms. Professor Amita Bhose, who was the heart of this journey, Romanian courses and all this journey in here in Kolkata, in this Kolkata, Amita Bhose Kolkata.
Good afternoon, and it is a pleasure to be here. First, I'd like to thank Dr. Shati Guho for inviting us to today's lecture, and I also thank Professor Lipi Ghosh, former director of South and Southeast Asian Studies of University of Calcutta. And actually, as Carmen mentioned, it was she who made this bridge between Carmen and us. And Carmen it was introduced to be as the conducting person for the first Romanian course to the Kolkata students, and it was Lipidi who actually did this, made this possible. So today we will discuss about Amita Bhose, a key person who made the bridge between India and Romania, or we can say Bengal and Romania, in the modern era. So the Bengali and Romanian relationship. Actually, if we look at the relationship between India and Romania, we will see that the political relationship did not exist till independence of India. It was 1948, it was 14 December of 1948 when Romania and India established diplomatic relations. And the diplomatic mission of Romania in India opened in 1955, and Indian embassy was set up in Bucharest in 1959. But this was only political relationship. Before that, there existed a long cultural relationship between the two countries. Now, if we look at the New Age relation, as I mentioned that Amita Bhose was the key person, and he went to Bucharest in 1960s. He came back to Kolkata, he went with her husband that time. Then after completion of that project of her husband, she came back to the Kolkata and and after that she wanted to, by this time she rediscovered this cultural relation between India and Romania, and she wanted to explore it more and wanted to go back to Romania to explore this, to study this more deeply. Then she went back again, and this time she was alone, and she studied this cultural relationship. She studied deeply the Romanian national poet Eminescu, who was quite contemporary to Tagore, and she lived her life there. She actually also died there in Romania. So we will listen to her story first, and then we will just speak of the bridge between India and Romania, and we will we will just discuss on Eminescu and Tagore. So let us now listen to Carmen and it is over to Carmen for a few words about Amita Bhose.
Mulțumesc, thank you. I wanted to tell you a story. It's a really it's working. Sorry. I wanted to tell you a story, and it's not a story from my mind, it's a real story. And she started here in the city of Joy, Kolkata, but she started 90 years ago. And you can see, and the main character of this story is the little girl in the picture, a little girl with short hair and lively black squirrel eyes. This little girl, Amita is her name, would single-handedly the cultural bridge between India and Romania, a distant country, of which she knew only he was in Europe. But until then, the little girl Amita would learn to read, and returning her from school, she would translate poems from English into Bengali for her mother, perhaps in her heart, throughout her life when she would translate for millions of people connecting worlds. These translations were dedicated to her mother, whom she lost at 30. To appreciate the true value of her culture and idea, we must take into account the years when it took place, the 60s. That is more than 60 years ago. And Amita has created a cultural bridge between two worlds with a pencil, her mind, and lots of love, because in this time, there didn't exist computers, high performance phones, email, or Facebook or WhatsApp. In the 1960s, there were only letters that took weeks on the road between the two countries. Amita lived her childhood in an intellectual climate that left its marks on her later career. Her family was deeply involved in artistic and scientific activities. Her father, for example, Sudhir Kumar Bose, was a lawyer at the Calcutta Supreme Court of Justice as well as the New Delhi Supreme Court. He was awarded by the University of Kolkata for research in the field of law. Her grandfather, for example, was a renowned Orientalist, a member of the Asian Society. Her maternal grandfather was the first to obtain a doctorate in philosophy. And to return to the little Amita, she graduated from the Faculty of Chemistry, Physics, and Mathematics on the University of Calcutta, and 1 year later she gets married. In 1959, she follows her husband to Romania when he comes to specialize in oil geology. In order to become familiarized with the mentality and spiritual life of the Romanian people, she enrolls in a Romanian language and literature course at the University of Bucharest. In the Romanian language textbook, she discovered the poem Cetă Legend, Why Do You Swing, Old Forest, which, as she will confess, captivated her. My first contact with Eminescu's poetry simply astonished me. I was discovering a whole world in which the East meets the West, Europe meets Asia, the finite is unbounded, and barriers are removed. Eminescu's entire poetry was truth revealed to me like an endless melody, blending all the borders of time and space. In 1961, she returned to India with her husband, and she makes her press debut with an article entitled Rabindranath in Romania, published in Dutch Literary Gazette. She becomes a regular contributor to various Indian magazines and newspapers, with articles in both Bengali and English on India's culture or on Romanian culture and literature, from which she also translates. She also begins to become invited to university, schools, cultural associations, or by the radio to give lectures on various aspects of convergence between Indian and Romanian culture. She was Deputy Editor-in-Chief, Literary Editor of the Publicity Department of Damodar Valley Corporation. She also contributed with articles of Bharata Kosha, the Indian encyclopedia in Bengali. She founded Vichitrita Association. She was also member of Rabindra Bharati Society, Asiatic Society of India, and she graduated in '65 from the Bengali English faculty of the University of Kolkata, and 2 years ago, on the invitation of the Romanian Institute for Cultural Exchange, she came to Romania for the second time, establishing new cultural type. And 1 year later, like Srabanti told, she divorces by Deepak Ray, but in documents and publications until 1971 she appears like Amita Roy. Amita Bhose, was a fine writer. Cenașonar Baire, Behind the Familiar World, the journal of her travels to Romania, was considered by Indian radio channels the best book on a foreign country. For Jugantar, an Indian newspaper, she writes about local traditions and social aspects, her articles being published under the title Alapini, Alapini. A very important moment of her literary activity was in 1969 when she published in Kolkata Eminescu Kobita. And she said, my purpose was not necessarily to reach a perfect translation of the physical body of words, but to understand the poem's spirit, to delve into their enigmatic and tempting depth, to live the anguish felt by their author. For me, translating Eminescu was not an artistic experiment or a language exercise. It was more of a deep spiritual experience I cannot begin to define. This was the first translation of Eminescu's poems in Asia, published in a volume. With a modesty that only great spirits have, she said, thanks to Eminescu, my name reached all the meridians of the world. At the same time, also thanks to Amita Bhose, the first Indian language into which Romanian literature was translated was also Bengali. Amita Bhose penetrated into the enigmatic depths of Romanian literature due to her love for this country and for Eminescu's work. The Indian world discovered amazed in a foreign poet ideas and feelings so similar to Indian ones, and many recognized Tagore's poetic sensibility in Eminescu's poems. In the daily Jugantar, the writer Parimal Goswami noted, the translation is cursive and it is done in such a nuanced language that it does not even look like a translation. Through this volume of poetry from a distant country, the translator built a bridge between the two cultures, a fact for which our literature and culture will be grateful. For her own initiative, she continued to translate books, sometimes they are here, sometimes as a freelancer or renouncing her copyrights. She translated drama of the most representative playwrights, Caragiale, Mihail Sebastian, Mirodan, Marin Sorescu. They are very important Romanian writers. The play was broadcasted and performed on stage in Kolkata. She also translates short story on Romanian classics, a collection of modern Romanian poems. And she was the first Indian philologist to learn Romanian. And how now? The story continues on another continent. In August 71, her father dies, and in December, she enrolls in a doctoral program of the Faculty of Romanian Language and Letters of the University of Bucharest on a scholarship from the Romanian government. Her thesis is the Indian influence on Eminescu's philosophy, and her supervisor is Professor Zoe Dumitrescu Bușulenga, the greatest exegete of the Eminesian work. Amita identifies the sentimental reasons behind her decision to return to Romania. After my father passed away, I went back to Romania in search of a love haven among the Romanian people. She also says, man's destiny cannot be foreseen. I am an Indian in love with my mother tongue and Indian culture, but if I happen to get acquainted with your country, Romania, and devote myself to some comparative research into Romanian and Indian spirituality, that was one of the capital and revealing events of my life. She defends her doctoral thesis at the University of Bucharest in 1975, and she said, one of the happiest moments of my life. She received so many flowers that a few students had to carry them on the campus when she died. Published with the titles Eminescu in India, the thesis established a series of new points of contact between Indian and Romanian cultures as found in Eminescu's works, and attempts to change the accepted opinion of Romanian literary critics on Eminescu's Indian sources. Because for Amita Bhose, Eminescu is the quintessence of the Romanian spirit. It was an intellectual curiosity that made the poet get closer to India, but his need for self-rediscovery. Her comparative studies, Amita Bhose studies, the Eminescu-Tagore parallel drew attention to the existence of a common stock of sensitiveness shared by the Romanian and Indian people. The idea is supported also by the greatest Indianist and the best translator from Sanskrit in Romania, best known not in Romania but in Europe, St. George. To understand the importance of her professional approach in Romania between this period, so almost 1 century, only 100, no, I don't know. You can help me, please, because the numbers, they are not.
Oh, 1600.
In a century.
1600.
Yeah, only
1600 doctorates were awarded in a century. Between 1900 and 1989, the year of revolution, only 1600 doctorates were awarded, and in all fields.
Yeah. So one of them was Amita Bhose.
So
And
that means in 1 year, only 16 were awarded. 100 years, 16.
in 1 century. In 1 century only, yeah. And after her doctoral thesis, she is granted a 2-year postdoc scholarship to take part in the scientific editing of Eminescu's work. And but we will discuss later about this. And that is the part that I like very much, because I will speak a little about Didi like teacher, and because she was not only a researcher, writer, translator, but also very dedicated teacher. And this is some photo from a conference with Romanian people, with the Romanian writers. We know very well their name. Yeah. She wear all the times sari, of course, and articles about, and now it's something very new for you. Our national poet, it was the first translator from Sanskrit in Romanian, and on the cover is his manuscript, a copy of his manuscript. And what is very important for our culture, the contribution of Didi, is the fact that after her doctoral thesis, she enrolled a postdoctoral thesis to research this manuscript, because in 100 years nobody knew Sanskrit, or nobody can make a research on Eminescu's manuscript. He translated the short grammar of Franz Bopp. She translated from Sanskrit in Romanian, and she almost translated all the grammar and part of the glossary. And these manuscripts, so there are many, three notebooks, were opened after 1 century by Amita Bhose. And this is very important for our, so her contribution, not only because she made a doctoral thesis in Romanian and in our national poet, but she changed, she come with new perspective on Eminescu's poetry. And we are very grateful for this, because in Romania nobody knew Sanskrit. We have an Indian, nobody specialized in Indian studies, and we are very lucky, because Didi was an Indian, but not an ordinary Indian, but she was an Indologist, and she knew very well Sanskrit, so we're very lucky. So that's why now in the National Museum of Romanian Literature, if you visit one time in Bucharest, you will be surprised to see a personal exhibition. I have donated to some manuscript and some personal item, some photograph, and there embraced by it's the name is Rotonda Eminescu. It's like the point of the creation. It's a round table. So this is the exhibition, and she is embraced by Eminescu's poems. And if you open the general dictionary of Romanian literature of letter B, you will find her name. So, and it's edited by Romanian Academy, not by who knows what publishing house. So her contribution in our culture is very important. And I will show you the way how did he learn, teach in these times. So this is the boards with Bengali and Sanskrit alphabets, because we haven't into the printing house of the university, they haven't Devanagari character. So all was made by hands, roads, and she also made manuals, Bengali manuals, in the same way. So she typed on the right typing, and she involved all the time her students in her work. And the students who have a very nice writing, they help to complete. Of course, she can do that, but to involve them and to encourage them. So these students wrote the Bengali parts from the manuals, and then it was the job of a printing house to multiply, like to Xerox, to print, yeah. And every day when she go to university, we were very happy to enjoy her and like a child to help her to bring these boards to the university. Yeah. This is the manuals. Yeah, and she also made a dictionary, Bengali-Romanian, and she was the only translator who translated directly in Romanian. Not because she knew very well Romanian, she was doctor in Romanian, but she made the first dictionary. It doesn't exist any dictionary. In this time, only the members of the embassy, Indian embassy, were there, or some specialized in oil geology. So now it's very easy. So I wonder, when I took classes with Srabanti and the others, it's so easy now, because you push on a button and you are connected with India. And I wonder, oh my God, if Didi was alive, so she can be alive with 92 years. For a genius, she can do many things. Maybe she was alive now. What kind of things she can do? Because in those times, only with a pen and her heart, she made a cultural bridge. And now when she sent an article into India, it took 2 months to go from Bucharest to Kolkata. And now by click we are connected with all. And we can do such many things, I think, if you want, and we can. Yeah. And because she also this is Sanskrit textbook in 3 tomes, but I published them after her death, because she haven't time to do. This is the reprint. Now, like I said, it's more easy. And now I will show you because every year the university organize a show dedicated to Tagore, and she involved her students to sing or to say poems in their translations sometimes from Bengali-Romanian. And time to time we are invited at her home in Bucharest, so that is her flat, little flat in Bucharest. And this is the best student, and I told you that the best student because she teach optional courses. So if you all the people can join the course, but not the best students weren't us from the languages, French, English, or the best students were from the architecture, because from the Sanskrit they saw very well in space, and they have a mathematical mind. We are like this with our mind, the French the language, and to Bengali also. And we have Bengali names. This one is the best student of Bengali, and his name was Alo, because he was very shiny, and the others also. And these are a photo from Tagore shows with the ambassador who join every time. And this is the first representation, yes, of an Indian play in Romania. And this was translated by Diti from Bengali in Romania, and her students from 81 played and directed. And the poster was made by Alo. And he has this one very nice. And this is Shesh Raksha after the show with her students. Now I'm in the last show of 86 Tagore show, and now in Romania, in her flat also, with her students in Bucharest. She was very close to us. And here is with Sergio George, the most important Sanskritolog of our country. And I want to describe a little how Didi was like teacher. So she taught Bengali, Sanskrit, and Indian civilization like optional course. But and she had to do everything from scratch. With a great ability of analysis and work, she translated, gave courses and conferences, developed manuals and dictionary, wrote articles and comparative studies. She was an earnest and demanding person with a fine and ironic humor, and very warm. She had a strong personality despite her fragility. She was not very high person. Without exaggeration, Didi was the university's most beloved professor, so we call her Didi. And she happily attended our personal events, and we are very honored to have her as a guest house of our home. Yeah, it's like this. I told about our recognizers, and very fast I will show you the books published after her death, because after her death I founded a little publishing house especially to publish her work, because her manuscripts are mine, but I try to publish her work, and the answer was, we are not interesting, nobody read now Eminescu, try again. So I said to my husband, I will make a publishing house to that, and here I am. Yeah. And until then, I published 40 titles of her work. So it was like an institution. So this is articles about her work, and photo. She was invited not only to make conference to the university, but also in schools. Here is look in schools. And she took the bus, like everyone. And this is the fact that she worked at the university. This is a manuscript of part of her manuscript, and the books published. She translated with her best student from Sanskrit, Natya Shastra, from Sanskrit. Richikatikam, also Radha and Krishna from Bengali. Yeah. Bengali, Indian, Sanskrit proverbs, translation from Tagore, as she is the only one to translate directly from Bengali in Romanian, Chinapatra, poetry and play, Pratibha Shangit, the Jibon Shriti, Shesh Raksha, illustrated throat. There are the manuals, radio broadcast, because she also she was invited to radio broadcast, and these are the books on Eminescu studies, articles. She has a lot of books about Tagore visit in Romania, Indian holidays, correspondence, and this is one of the last books that the title is I was accused because I loved Romania, but I recognize my fault. That's it. Fairy tales and bilingual edition, because she translates also Romanian literature in Bengali. And she started doing in Romania, because in her dreams, her grandfather taught to her in Romania. Yeah, that's it. A book first. I have a book. I have this. How to say? So all when I go to book fairs or to the events, I have this little basket who belongs to her, and I put in Romanian, Indian or Bengali or Sanskrit proverbs translated by Didi, and I put in the basket, and I offer to the visitors, because I have a small printing house, and I have like this little space, and nobody stopped to me, because the book fairs, all the people are like this, they go to the big printing house. And I'm thinking how to make that he stopped to my little publishing house. And I took this basket and I offered, so they stopped. And they took a proverb, they read it, and we discuss about. And here, and that started the story. So then I told them about Didi, about about her activity, and year after year they come back and they told me, you know, I have in my portfolio, to my mirror, I put the proverb because I like it very much. So it's due to Didi. In bookstores or in Didi's books. So, and the name of the letter B in the general dictionary of letter B. Look. Yeah. And now the exhibition of Romanian. Yeah. It looks nice. we are very proud. And we tried to allow, but didn't work. Yeah.
În 1961, în timpul centenarului, a fost o sărbătoare foarte mare sub egida UNESCO. Dar atunci eu nu eram aici, am fost plecată în India. La Universitatea din București s-a deschis un curs facultativ de limba bengali din 1971. Eu predau acest curs din 72. Chiar dacă cursul n-a fost foarte suficient ca să stăpânească o limbă, studenții au fost foarte dornici să cunoască operele lui Tagore și începând în 1977, în fiecare an, la universitate, noi am sărbătorit ziua lui Tagore.